How serene is this? We had, oh, step off boat without falling over. Oh, Mark's gone. Crumbs. Oh. Oh, we didn't have a chance to properly say goodbye, but we're going to get him back up to Northampton when we come back and take him out for the night. He paid for a bloody meal last night. Bad lad. After driving Charlotte all the way back from wherever it was to Newark to get her car. Nice little boat Lynn's bought there as well. Right, so we have today a fairly short run, and we should be in Northampton early afternoon. For those who haven't tried this gaff, this is the wharf, and it's all right. It really is. A nice little, so it's one of those sort of like slightly better quality grub pubs. It sounds not quite how I intend it to sound, but. And the other thing we noticed last night, just being down this little bit lower here, we didn't hear any trains go past at all. So yeah, the wharf, highly recommend the wharf, and we're going to set off in a bit and see what the Northampton flight is like. Someone did say that occasionally the pounds are very low and you got to run some water down from the top. We shall see. Right, and it rained during the night, but it's not raining now. That's good. About an hour from setting off, we are at the junction where we turn off to go down to Northampton. And it's turning into a reasonably promising looking day with the sun trying to break through. Alright, it doesn't sort of like immediately seem that way, but believe me, the sun is trying to break through. We have had quite a few boats coming to the way. I don't think there's any boats behind, but we have had quite a few coming to the way, and we got one now. So I'm just going to stop filming and pass gracefully, effortlessly and contactlessly, if that's a word. We are at, oh sorry, I should zoom out really, shouldn't I? We are at the junction now, where I'm turning gracefully and competently. Who are you kidding? A sharp left. And what's the betting there'll be a boat coming to the way? Now I'm going to do this with two hands, obviously, because I'm a pro, and I wouldn't want anyone to think that I don't know what I'm doing. Actually, shall I use two hands? Oh, oh, look at me. I'm using one hand. Oh, and avoided smacking into, look at that. Look at me, eh? Almost like I know what I'm doing. So a sharp bend. Oh dear. That way goes down to London. I was very tempted to try and rearrange this trip so that we could go down, do the Regent's Canal, come out of Limehouse and go up the Thames under Tower Bridge. But Madame Windlass has put her foot down with a firm hand and threatened to get me sectioned. Right, Northampton, here we come. We've only got 17 locks and probably 16 empty pounds between those 17 locks. But Madame Windlass will be on the case and ready to run down plenty of water. Not necessarily still ones, but run down plenty of water, and we will be in Northampton in no time. Maybe. Just past Gate and Marina. There's a little hire fleet there, which I would have expected all of those to be out. It's strange, there was probably about 8 or 9 boats back there. Now that's a bit of a crane, isn't it? And that little zoom out, get it properly. Must be a fair bit of weight in there, in the back, to counterbalance that. I'm just coming down now to the first of the 17 locks, which I think by the end of today might feel like 70. And I thought the sun was trying to pop its little head out, but yeah, I don't know, maybe not. Feels like it might try and rain, but we haven't got a massive amount to do. We've got those 17 locks and then I think about 5 miles or something, so we'll be all tucked up and snug by mid-afternoon, mid to late afternoon. I should think, unlike yesterday's, another 11-hour days, but it was good fun. And yeah, so the first part was great, with Lynn doing the tunnel on her own, passing 2 boats, coming down Watford locks, and then Mark took over and we just slammed it through, did another 7 locks, then slammed it down to the Wharf pub. Wharf, not Wolf, Wharf pub. Yeah, get your words out right, mate, get your words out right. The Wharf, innit, the Wharf pub. Nice little gaff, can't fault it. See what we find tonight. I need to give this windlass to Madame Windlass at some point, otherwise she's not going to be able to take us through the locks. Oh, here we are at the first lock, and you would seem here we are banging into the gate of the first lock. It would seem like we're sort of like in the middle of nowhere. There's a cock crowing. Where was the last time we heard a cock crowing? And when was the last... There he is. And when was the last time we had chicken for dinner? I'm really not sure I could keep chickens. I think Chris has got at least 1 cock. And oh no, don't do it, people. I'm talking about chickens. And I suspect that will be one for the pot. Can't let anything go to waste. There's more than 1. There's about 2 or 3. Yeah, there is. Right, enough boring video. We're going down to Northampton. Guess what, boys and girls? we've picked up a fender around a prop. Oh, at least it's not someone's wardrobe, I suppose. What? There's clothes there. All right, we have got clothes as well then. We've got clothes and a fender. Fantastic. I was talking back at the Watford locks about porous locks and why they end up causing what they termed as sinkholes or whatever. What happens is a small hole in the side of the lock goes through to the earthy, grassy, earthy stuff behind and fills up a little hole behind, and then as the lock empties, the water comes out and pulls a little bit of that earthy, groundy, soily stuff out with it. Over a period of time, that little hole gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you will see from the water coming through there that there's quite a lot has obviously gone into behind the wall of the lock. So that's a porous lock. Over time that will just wash out everything on the other side and you'll end up with a cavern, like a big sort of void behind there as that water comes out, and at some point that will either drop down into the hole or this will push out into the lock, which is I think what happened at Marple Lock a year or so ago when Jeff and Sandra got stuck. In fact, Jeff and Sandra, that was a hell of a year. They got to Marple and then the lock was bust, and then TRT sort of locked them in by putting width posts up that would only allow something like a canoe through, and so they couldn't get out. They had to break out of jail, break out of CRT jail. Now, excuse me, the logical question would be, how serious is that? Well, CRT won't care. In fact, it's likely that they've been notified about it. It's likely they know about it, but they won't do anything about it because they're reactive rather than proactive. So at some point in the future, this lock will be closed while they do major repairs, rather than doing remedial repairs at the moment, which would probably take a day. They'll end up with this entire lock closed down for 6, 7, 8 weeks maybe. And that's the mindset of Canal and River Trust. And I know it doesn't look serious until it is. But you don't know what's happening behind this wall. Canal and River Trust. Engine of a lawnmower, brakes of a juggernaut. I've lost track where we are, but we have got a little helper who's disappeared. Oh no, she's helping to open the gates. That's good. There's our little helper. We are now approaching Northampton. I ain't actually looked on a map. I should do, shouldn't I, really? Oh, look. Okay. So, who's paid for this? Canal and River Trust. Oops, bang. Canal River Trust, Inland Waterways Association. I can't fucking read that from here, hang on. Anyway, I mean, all very nice and everything. Maintaining the canals would be nicer. Inland Waterways Association and some primary school. Not massively tagged. It's a good sign. Right, anyway, we're coming into Northampton. I'm going to have a little look on the old map, see where the bleeding hell we are. Well, this is a bit concerning. Another really porous lock, and this is only the other one. It was just dribbling. This one, we have known worse. There's been some where it's actually given us all a shower as we've gone through. I just looked on the map as well, and that up there, guess what? That's the M1 again. So we're zigzagging in and out the M1. And again, look at that. That is not just a dribble. So that is the release of water from the cavern behind this wall. And every time it comes back out, it's washing some of the whatever's behind the wall, you know, ground as we call it sometimes, washing that out into the lock. But hey, M1 again. And look at this on both sides. Shame it's so dark, but that is very, very jolly. And this is the sort of thing that I do like to see, but I also like to see maintenance on the canal as well. So M1 above, it's quite a hefty little tunnel this, and I'm still not sure actually how far we've got to go, I have to admit. But what a very nice bit of street art to have. Well, it's not really, is it? It's more than street art. Got some nice opium poppies there. Unlike Leicester, no fly agaric mushrooms. But what a nice thing to discover coming into Northampton. What time are we at? 1:30? Exactly, 1:30. Not bad. We left the wharf this morning at 10 o'clock, so we're 3.5 hours. I thought we would be in Northampton mid-afternoon, mid to late afternoon, so that's looking good. Maybe that's the M1, and maybe that's something else. I don't know. I ought to look on the map again. But this is the bit where, you know, it all goes whoom whoom and then off that way, and different what are they called, slip roads, you know, and junction. That's the word I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is junction. Let me see which one it is in a little while yet. What does this remind me of? Chesterfield Canal. Why does it remind me of the Chesterfield Canal? Because there's a couple of really, really shallow bits, which means it's impossible to get any speed up, because the more power you put on, the more the back of the boat digs in, and which is counterproductive. So I'm all right. I'm just drifting along at 2 miles an hour. It's actually quite pleasant. It's warm. There's not really any sun, but it's nice enough. And Marley's fretting, aren't you? Because he doesn't know where Madame Windlass has gone. Yeah. All the warnings that everybody gave us about the Northampton Arm, saying shallow pounds and crappy locks. The locks are actually in very good condition. I don't know what people, I think some people just moan for the sake of it. The only problem we've had was pulling that fender out, which we think the boat ahead of us, or 2 boats ahead of us, had lost, because it's got a metal bracket which is broken. The boat ahead of us said the one before them had got stuck in the lock, so I'm guessing this is one of those fenders that, you know, hangs off the side of your boat on those nice little sort of like eyelets, which you should always, on narrow locks, you should take all fenders up, or, you know, put them on the gunnel, sort of like hang them on the sides. But we ended up with it around the prop shaft. It's almost traditional, isn't it? I'm not sure touring around the canal network will be the same with that shopping trolley fishing. Oh, I think this is the last lock. Ooh, that's weird. Look at that for a building. Yeah, that is strange. I'm not sure whether I like that or not. So, last lock, and look at this little bit here. That, I don't know what that is. It's almost like a mooring, or like a, I don't know what it is. Actually, I don't know. And then we've got sort of like, I don't know, piece of art, I suppose, in a bench. So last lock, we should be, what time are we at now? It's 4:30. I wasn't far out in my my guesstimation. What is that bit there for? Anyway, enough chattering. Let's get us into that lock. I don't know what Marley's doing down there. What are you doing down there? Right. I think these geese are eating grass. Let's embarrass myself by banging into this lock now, shall we? Not the best of lines, but well, it's not a complete disaster as far as gently squeezing into a tight little lock is concerned. Look at that. I haven't touched the sides. Definitely know some girls like that. There we are, coming into Northampton. If anyone knows what this little bit here is about, what it's for, let us know. It's almost like a brewery. If you happen to like drinking piss. I actually quite like that building next to it though. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's kind of got some brutalist feel to it. Unlike this shithole. Macro, big breweries destroying craft. Oh, that's an interesting little mooring. Right, we're on the Nene. This is River Nene. There you go. It's not at all unpleasant, is it? yeah. And Don, Simon and Harry are there. And now we're leaving. Really good run down yesterday. I don't know why people always slag off the Northampton arm. I thought it was quite nice. And this is Northampton Marina, which is also quite nice. A little bit of a different waterscape. We're in Newhaven, which is between Brighton and Eastbourne. It's the only deep channel estuary between the Solent and Dover. So there's a ferry runs from here to Dieppe. And when I was a kid, I lived here between 7 and 16-ish. And we'd always come down here to the sandy beach. This actually goes out to where those steps are over there, and all this is like one big sandy beach, or was, because now it is completely closed off and forbidden and illegal apparently to go down those steps there. Which is a great shame, because loads of kids from Newhaven would spend long summer afternoons, evenings, whatever down there when the tide goes out. When I came back here, I ended up running the youth club, and we would take groups of kids down, and where these steps are here, which you can't actually see, if I walk around there I can show you, 2 sets of steps, one goes down this way, one goes down this way. And I'd get them to build a fort up against the wall here on either side of the steps, and whichever one lasted longest was the winner. So that's another little joy which is deprived of the people of Newhaven, and it's a great shame. In fact, it's a crime, because it's one of the most beautiful beaches, again in my view, between the Solent and Dover. So that's where we are anyway, Newhaven Beach. As a consequence of the closure too, there's no longer any walking along the breakwater. That is now forbidden. And you would always find people stood on the top there, where he is, fishing. It's a new addition from when I was a kid. I got a clue what it is. It's fucking big though.